Well, thank you all very much. On behalf of everybody present, I want to thank our speakers here this morning. I'm sorry that we don't have time for question and answers, but I'm sure later on in the day that may be facilitated. I want to thank the Institute for inviting me to chair this session, and in doing so recognising the role of this new joint Oireachtas committee on climate change and energy security. We're only 12 months in existence. We're an all-party committee. I'm delighted to see so many of our committee present. The work we've done so far, I would like to think we have contributed a great deal towards what was ultimately agreed in relation to 2012-2020 in the report that we produced in October, and subsequently in our visits to both Brussels and Strasbourg to sell the points that we were making in this report. And a lot has been said here this morning was recognised by our committee. And in recognising the work of my committee, I want to also recognise the role played by MEP Avril Doyle, who is here. And I'm sorry to hear that she's leaving the European Parliament, because I saw the work she did as rapporteur in relation to the agreement 2012-2020. Excellent work and highly respected in Europe. So the one thing that, as a city person, a city representative, I recognise, indeed, as did other colleagues of mine who don't represent rural constituencies, the role that agriculture has to play in our economy, and that none of us want to take any steps that would damage that industry. But the one thing I've learned about this whole area of climate change and energy security is not all bad news. There's a lot of good things, and maybe it'll shake us all into changing our habits, doing things more efficiently, being more conscious about not having so much waste, and by recognising that there are other alternatives if we're prepared to exploit them. And the most recent thing this committee of mine did was to produce a new piece of legislation in relation to the planning of offshore renewable energy. And these are the sort of things that we as a country can lead in the future. So all the positives, I would hope, will come out of conferences like this, and that we won't go around with our heads down and thinking that the world is going to stop. There are plenty of alternatives if we're prepared to make those changes. So I wish the remainder of the conference every success. And again, I want to thank the Institute for arranging this conference and for having us all here to listen to some excellent contributions that I've heard this morning. Thank you all very much indeed.